Fuller, Smith, and Turner, established 1845, London, England. Fuller, Smith, and Turner, Fuller's to most people, has been making beer in London since 1845. As is often the case in Europe, brewing on the site predated Fuller's, going back to at least the late 1600s. The name of the building itself, the Griffin Brewery, dates back to a previous owner and hints at the site's long lineage. The modern Fuller's we know, festooned with awards and famous around the world, was not always so. John Keeling, the head brewer, described the brewery in the decade before he arrived. In the 60s, Fuller's was really a company not going anywhere, like a lot of regional breweries in the UK. 70s came along, and it was still just pottering along, not really thinking about the future. The owners decided to make a change in the late 1970s and put Fuller's on its current course. Between 1978 to 1989, its three core bitters, ESB, London Pride, and Chiswick Bitter, each won a medal as Champion Beer of Britain, the country's most prestigious cask ale award, and ESB won it 3 times. London was once the seat of British brewing, but over the centuries the number of breweries dwindled. By the time Young's closed down in 2006, Fuller's was the one remaining traditional London brewery. Now when people visit the capital and stop by for a pint, they often find themselves in a Fuller's pub. All 3 of the brewery's flagship bitters are made using the very old party guile method of brewing, making Fuller's one of the most traditional breweries in the world. And yet when visitors pop in, they'll have a range of choices from dozens of beers Fuller's makes each year. As craft beer has flourished in the city, there are now more than 60 local breweries. Fuller's has embraced hoppy, strong, and dark ales. Their approach has created a blueprint for other traditional breweries for adapting to the changes in 21st century tastes. Brewmaster John Keeling. John Keeling arrived at Fuller's in 1981, but 3.5 decades haven't dulled his drawn-out, rounded Manchester accent in the least. His arrival coincided with the brewery's illustrious revival, but Keeling's greatest contribution has been guiding Fuller's through Britain's craft beer era, during which London has seen its number of breweries jump to over 6. Unlike some traditional breweries that refuse to evolve, Keeling has reveled in experimentation and collaboration, exploring what tradition looks like when it's given a bit of air to breathe. That willingness has paradoxically allowed many people to rediscover Fuller's traditional offerings. Because of Keeling's willingness to embrace the new, he has become an eloquent spokesman for the old and traditional. "Yes, I wanted to actually surprise you," he says of London Pride, though he could have been talking about any of Fuller's offerings. "Today it's a little bit more malty or caramelly or hoppy or fragrant or whatever, so that you're having a dialogue with that beer. And that's really what we call character."